As a crypto miner, there are two times during the year that really stress me out. The first one, which I know a lot of you guys can relate to, is summertime and just handling all the heat that comes with not only the miners, but the outside hot temperatures. Now, the second one for me, which might not be as common for a lot of other people, is wintertime. This past winter was a struggle. Freezing temperatures in my ASIC mining shed, they just don't agree with my ASIC miners. And I think I have an idea and a solution. All right, we are over at our home crypto mining shed. Those of you guys not familiar, this is a 12 by 12 shed. It's actually something I partnered with my electrician on. This is actually his house here. And we got in on this well over a year ago and completely renovated this unit to be a pretty sweet home crypto mining shed. And I don't really have issues with heat during the summertime with this unit, and I'll show you why. So let's go ahead and step inside, and then we're going to talk about why we're talking and thinking about wintertime. So stepping inside here, this is our crypto mining shed. Pretty wild, especially if this is your first time checking out the channel. I'll put a link to an entire build video of this shed directly down below. But let's talk about summertime and why heat really isn't an issue. So we have this intake wall here, all filters, the entire thing. So the inside of my shed is actually, I guess you could consider it a cold aisle, because all of the ASIC miners exhaust their heat externally. Taking a look here, the ASICs are butt up against the wall, and they go ahead and exhaust everything directly out the rear of the shed. So during the summertime, you know, inside the shed is my cold aisle. It's pulling in air from outside, could be 85, 90, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It goes through the shed and through the ASIC and out the rear side. And the ASICs have no problem with 85, 90, 100 Fahrenheit, you know, temperatures. It's no problem. You know, these things run and are meant and built to run super, super hot. I'm not like some of you guys that are down in Texas. But let's talk about wintertime. So that same design during the wintertime, 30, 20, 10, 0 degree temperatures from outside, first will build up moisture on the screens and also on the filters. And if they haven't frozen the filters, then it's going to go ahead and come through, goes into the ASICs, and ASICs do not like that type of temperature. That cold of a temperature, you have a lot of issues. One of the common issues is actually with power supplies. If you're mining and you're not recirculating any heat, you can actually have issues with power supplies. And the challenge is, for me, is it's very difficult to recirculate heat with this design. And how I got by last winter was I took about 1/4 of these miners and I turned them around. I actually put a bunch of them on the shelf down here. Here's a great example. And I turned it around. So it was sucking air from right here. And we had about 8 miners that were blowing, exhausting their heat into this wall here to try to keep the filters from freezing and the inside temperatures from getting too cold. And it worked out well, but it wasn't a great solution. And well, the team over at Canaan sent me possibly a good option for the wintertime. The Canaan Avalon Mini3. All right, let's see if that Red Panda mining snap has any magic here. All right, let's try again. All right, there we have it. Check this thing out. Yes, it is a glorified space heater, but it's also a Bitcoin miner, which is actually really, really slick. Huge shout out to the team over at Canaan. This is very different than what we see with any other Bitcoin miner design. I mean, it looks just like a space heater at home. And that's actually what I'm hoping for it to be used for and designed for. So quick little, we'll lift this up here, take a look. The underbelly. You have your power cable. You then have a nice filter. This is your intake. And it snaps out of there if we need to. And then you see this little USB port right up under there. Well, it supports wireless. Actually, you can only use wireless. They give you a little dongle. You just plug it in and off you go. It doesn't take much at all, as well as your power cable there. So what I'm thinking is, like, especially for other people too, you might be like, what in the world? Well, this is very much designed, not for this setup, let's be honest here, but this is perfect for, like, let's say you have a garage that you want to keep warm during the winter time, and hey, you can earn some Bitcoin on the side. Or you have a basement that gets pretty damp and cold during the fall and winter. That's exactly what this is for, you know? You get to heat that area, but oh, you get some Bitcoin extra. Primary purpose is a heater. Secondary purpose is, hey, I get to earn some Bitcoin as well. So that being said, let me go ahead and get this set up, mining, and we'll take a closer look. All right, so for right now, we're going to test out our Canaan Avalon Mini3 right here on the floor, just a little bit away from the wall, and I do have it plugged in to the power strip over here. It's a glorified PDU, and we do have it running and plugged in to its own outlet here. Each of those, actually, if we open up, each of those actually has its own, right here, bottom shelf, has its own 15 amp, 120 volt, just dedicated to that. So right now there's pretty much nothing on there except for 2 fans and our miner right here. So it's up and hashing right now. It'll actually show you the IP address and the hash rate right there, 192.168.86.167. Now, one of the things I don't like about this is that, and I'll show you over here. So if you try to go to the IP address, it requires you to use the Canaan Mini. It's like the Avalon family app. So like I had to set it up on my phone through the family app. It's not terrible, but as an enthusiast, I love to be able to go to the IP address and just configure it there. It's a lot faster, at least for me. Now, if you come over to Canaan's website, go over to Avalon Home. It's like their new series of miners over there. They pretty much have 3. They have the new Q, which I'm eager for this thing to drop. This thing's crazy. Then they have our Mini 3 here, and then the Nano 3S. So if we take a little bit of a closer look at the Mini 3, here is the, this is cool. Okay, is there anything else on the page here? Let's see. There we go. It's gotta let me scroll down. It was loading. So here's the whole page here. If we go ahead, scroll down, yeah, all this cool, fun advertising stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. Come on. So here's that Avalon family app that I was talking to you guys about. It's pretty slick. You know, it is pretty sweet. You can configure it in all the ways that you're looking for. So it's advertised at about 37.5 terahash. I'm seeing about 40 terahash right now. And then if you look here, it does use 800 watts. So it does do a pretty good amount of watts, but you're going to use that many watts when you're looking at any traditional space heater. Now, taking a look on the pool side, let me go ahead and refresh. We're on via BTC. Let's go to our workers here. Let's go ahead and scroll down. And here's the Mini 3 V2 that's listed. Now, it'll take some time to get up and running on the actual pool side. Right now it says 12.49, probably take about an hour, but I'm seeing about 40 terahash currently right now when I load up the app. Let me show you. All right, so I have the app loaded up here. We're currently in the mining mode. You can see 37.25 currently. And the nice thing is you can put it in heater mode. And if you put it in heater mode, you can adjust like what temperature you want to keep it at. Mining mode is just straight balls to the walls. Give me all the hash rate and heat, versus with heater, you can adjust what temperature you want it to focus on, as well as you do have some timers that you can adjust within the app as well. So I want to run this here for a few weeks. You know, we're currently in spring, it's early May, so it's not going to get too hot, but I want to see how it does here. I want to see if I have any issues having it so close to the actual filter wall here. Because where my thought is like, all right, let's see how it goes. Because what I'm thinking about doing is taking it and actually turning it around to blow at the filter wall during that fall and winter. but I just kind of want to set it right here for a few weeks, see how it does. Is this the most traditional place to run one of these? No, but hey, we're crypto miners. We make do with what we have. Let's go ahead and step outside here. Love to get your thoughts on the fact of, so here is our intake wall. I don't think I showed it to you guys before. And any other ideas that you guys have for either one, recirculating the heat. You know, we tried turning a bunch of the miners backwards last fall and winter. But any ideas that you guys have other than running something like the Mini 3? Maybe I'll run one. I do have another one at my house. Maybe I'll get both of them and just blow the heat right at the backside of this wall to help kind of bring some warmth, keep the filters from freezing up, but would love to get your recommendations. All right, crypto miners, that's gonna wrap things up for today's video. If you guys wanna read more about the Canaan Avalon Mini 3, I'll leave links directly down below. Go over and check it out. Would love to get your recommendations for the winter time for me. I know, it's silly, we're in spring, summer, but you always gotta think ahead. You always gotta think of the next season coming up, and are you ready as a home crypto miner? All right, guys, take care.